Hi everyone, today we are going to be talking about a hot sauce business that I've been working on for the past 6 months. The idea for this hot sauce business came to me about 2 years ago when me and some of the friends were in San Francisco in a flat, and we all really love spicy food. But we didn't like is the flavors that are in the market right now. It's not that diverse, very vinegar based, and it was just not for us. So to accommodate our need, our taste of the spicy food, what we would do is make our own. We would do this every once a week or once a month. One of us would make a completely different hot sauce. Some of us would make hot sauce out of nuts. Some of us would make hot sauce out of fruits or some ingredients that we just found around the house, and we would taste it and we would try it. And we would do this because we really liked the flavor of the hot sauce, and that was what we didn't see in the market as much. I remember someday we invited some friends over and they tried our hot sauce. And mind you, these people hate spicy food. They do not like the flavor. The slightest spice really burns their mouth. So I just give them a little bit and I just added some flavors that I know would taste very good. And after trying it, they really loved the hot sauce. And after giving me a lot of compliments, they said that you guys should try to sell this hot sauce. And I've never thought of that before, but for a moment I was like, why not? Because there's a reason why we are the ones who is making the hot sauce and we're not buying our own hot sauce, because we think something is missing from the market. So that night I went on and I did some research about the hot sauce market before I tried to do anything else. And what I found is that people around the world are starting to eat a lot more spicier, and this trend is supposed to continue for the next decade. To tell you exactly how much of growth the spice market is going to have is that the global hot sauce market is anticipated to grow from 2.71 billion in 2021 to 4.38 billion in 2028. That's a 200% increase. So once I saw all the data, I thought, why not bring my own hot sauce to this market now, when in 2022 and 2021, so I could be part of the growth. So I could offer people a new flavor that they haven't tried before. So I could offer people something different than the things that are already offered at the market. The third part of this process was testing, actually making the sauce and tasting it. I've made a lot of different hot sauces before, and I've been around. My mom loves making hot sauces, my uncles, everyone have their own little recipe. I just didn't know which one would work in the bigger market. Do people really like the flavors that I like? Which one do I need to make? A more commercial hot sauce or a more ethnic hot sauce that I grew up with? Which of this is really going to work? So what I had to do was I wanted to start with a clean base. My goal was to make something based on the data that I have already collected, that it has to be flavorful, it has to be healthy, it has to be light, it has to be offering something that adds a little bit of kick to your food. It is spicy, but it's not burning your mouth. It is adding a lot to your food, but it's also not taking the flavor of your own food away, to the point that you cannot really taste the food itself, but just tasting the hot sauce. So there was a lot of requirements and I had to go through a lot of tests. I'm going to be ranking all my tests in here and why that sauce that I made didn't work or why it worked. Taste number one, I wanted to make it a ketchup-y hot sauce. I wanted to have like a ketchup base but be spicy. Based on that idea that I had, I tried to come up with something that was a little bit of sweet, ketchup-y base, but also had the spice to it. Unfortunately, after I made it, I think I used ghost pepper in this one. It was at first it tasted okay. It was very spicy, big how much ghost pepper to add. But after about 2 weeks I opened it up and it was just, because of the tomato, I didn't know tomato has so much acid, and it was just like a clumpy, it was like literally a clumpy paste. and it did not taste good. The tomato was like throwing the whole thing off. It was making the spice even worse. And this whole time also I had another chef that was working in this kitchen, and I could always ask him for advice. And for the first attempt we found out that the tomato was not really adding that sweet and nice and smooth texture that I liked. And instead, after like 2 weeks, it was making it clumpy, and the sweetness was off, and the tomato has too much acid that I did not account for beforehand. So that was why the first hot sauce was a fail. So for my second try, I tried fermenting and to see how would fermenting ghost or scorpio or habanero peppers would go. One thing I realized after fermenting is that I love the smell of the ghost pepper after 2 weeks of getting ferment. It has a very, it doesn't, you would think that a smell of any pepper would just burn your nose off or not just be a pleasant, but the ghost one, it was almost like a very nice flavorful home cooked meal smell. So that was one thing that I would want to keep in my future things. But as far as the other peppers go, I was just okay with the fermenting them. The next attempt, I kind of lost the number of the attempts, and then I tried it with beet one time to give me the sweetness. The problem with the beet is the beet would make the hot sauce too purple, and then as I told you guys, I wanted to have that explosion of flavors. And then once I tried it with lime juice, the problem with the lime juice one was that the problem with the lime juice one was I wanted the flavor of the lime, but instead I would get the acidity of the lime. So I didn't really know that how to get the flavor of the lime without the acid. And the acid, when the acid reacts to the heat, it just makes it like a little needle. And if you drink that, or if you put it in your mouth, it just feels painful. When I replaced the lime zest with the lime juice, it was delicious. And this is one of the first ingredients that I was just like, wow, I think I got one part of it. I think I got the sour part right. I also experimented with a lot of different peppers, and the pepper that I really liked the flavor after a while was habanero, because whenever you eat it, you would definitely feel the spice in your mouth for about 1, 2, 3 seconds, and then it would completely disappear. So the next bite you take, you're experiencing the flavor again. It doesn't burn your mouth to the point that after that, no matter what you eat, you cannot feel anything. And that was very important for me, that every single bite that you take, I wanted you to have that fresh new experience. So that's why I went on with habanero, because of that little kick at the beginning, and for it to be able to vanish so fast, for you to would want to take the next bite and to experience it, and not just sit there and be like, well, I cannot taste anything after this bite. And then for sweetness, I started experimenting with mango, and this was the hit from the start. People just loved it. And one time I went around the kitchen and gave them to everyone. They all have become a family by now, and they all tried it, and they are all obsessed with it. And they're like, you know what, my grandma would love this. I would love to buy this, or something like that. It also had this vibrant, bright orange look to it that I really, really loved. And the chef that was working in the kitchen really appreciated it as well. I finally had something that I was really proud of, that I wanted to try to taste it. So although I really liked this sauce, and the people around me at the kitchen and other people that I got feedback really liked this, I wanted to know more if my target market like it. What I did, a good thing about this is that I am currently in college, and my target market is also in college. So that was very convenient. And then I just organized a whole tasting in my school, where I invited everyone to come and try this with their food. I got chicken wings, I got a lot of different sides, and I wanted to see the data from that, and to see if there is never not room for improvement. So I wanted to get the data to improve the sauce and to see how the sauce is doing. The tasting day came, I was a bit nervous, but I started tasting it and I had about 7 bottles. I started giving people this little tiny cups of the sauce because I was literally running out of the sauce. There was so much demand and I did not have, I did not expect it that much. I had 7 bottles and in a matter of 2 hours I was done with them. I had to close up early. I was supposed to stay until 2, but I had to leave like around 12:40 because I did not have enough sauce, and people really liked it. Around 78% would want to eat and try the hot sauce again, and 60% wanted to buy the hot sauce if it was available right now. And I also got a lot of good constructive feedback that really helps me to tweak the sauce a little bit more this semester and make it even better to meet people's taste buds. Right now it's about January 28, 2022, and that is where I am. I plan to take this further. This semester I'm coming back. I'm planning to start actually making little bottles to sell it in the local markets and stuff like that, and to even get more feedback, to even do more research, and to even make the sauce better. So yeah, stay tuned for all of that. If you made it this far in the video, thank you so much for listening to me, and I'll see you guys in the next video.